My name's Kevin Alexander. My nickname was Spanky. I don't know. I think, lacrosse, and I heard 20, I totally agree. He's like, if you can play lacrosse, you can play anything. There's not a game you can't play. And it just teaches you a lot about life in general. It's just, it's a tough game. It's not easy. You go out there, you got to work, and you're going to get hit and bumped around and take your lumps just like you do in life. And it's a good game. You learn. And back when I played, I was fortunate because as 15, I was playing with guys that were 30. So he kind of teach you how to grow up and grow up on the right tracks. And that's kind of what I got out of lacrosse that way. You know what? Really, it's like all your records. It's a good team, solid team, good line mates, and guys that you play with. You can't do that kind of thing on your own. And I didn't do it on my own. I had good Bob Cool and players like that helping me and passing me the ball, and I get lucky with a few shots. I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of that you might be born with to some degree, but it just comes from watching the game and studying the game and learning the game. And I'm a believer that a good peripheral vision is something that, I don't know if you train yourself for that, but you got to see almost behind yourself when you're looking forward. And that's one thing that I always had good vision. I could see, and you can see things developing and anticipation. So yeah, a little bit of it's, there, but I never really worked at anything. I always had fun playing lacrosse, so it didn't seem like work to me, but yeah, I just kind of did what happened out there. Oh yeah, I practiced lots. I was the first guy at practice and last guy off the floor kind of thing, but I didn't equate it as work, I guess. It was just fun, and I liked to do that kind of thing, and if things weren't going perfectly, I wasn't ready to leave yet. You can't go to sleep knowing your stick's got a hook in it or something like that, so you keep working until it's good. Well, it's probably the most important thing you have. I mean, your stick is an extension of your hands, and if you don't know what it's going to do, you can't predict what you're going to do. And in lacrosse, that's number one. And I've done, like I said, thousands and thousands of sticks. I string sticks for people. I've strung sticks for people all over the continent. So I know, like, I can look at a stick and tell you what it's going to do and how it's going to do it. It's just something that I've done for a long time. Well, you know what? I was a solid player, and I could shoot. I could shoot good. And, they give you a chance to play. They were short players, obviously, and they needed guys to go, and the junior A's were busy, so I was playing junior B at the time, I think. And they picked me up to play for 4 or 5 games, and, if you can shoot, you can shoot. And guys, there's respect out there. I had 2 big brothers out there, too, kind of watching out for me. But, it's... the guys, they're not taking cheap shots at you and that kind of thing. They make you play honest, but to go out and you let you play your game and good things happen. I don't know, I guess they didn't think I was fast enough, but I had one coach, Bill Monroe, said, you might not have foot speed, but nobody ever catches him from behind, so I don't know. It was just... I think you take stock of everything that's in front of you and the closest guy behind you kind of thing. And I'm looking, if you got one guy to beat, you got to think about where the next guy's going to come from. And if he's coming from there, then I should be able to pass to his guy. The defenses now, I'll be honest with you, are quite a bit more sophisticated. But, and goalies have their tendencies. That's one thing that you really know if a goalie's weak in a certain spot. And I always tried to, I never had a favorite spot to shoot. And I never thought that was the right thing, because if you got a favorite spot, then you're going to shoot there. I could tell when things were going good, because you would go in on the goalie or on your defensive guy and you don't even see him. All I can see is net. When all you can see is net, that's a good night, and the ball is going in pretty good. Goalie doesn't exist. Like, if there's a figure there, but I'm not looking at him. I'm looking by him. And then I just hit that spot, and life's good. Yeah, I would say that's probably true. It's just sometimes a lot of times guys will go down, and I see this all the time now. They've predetermined in their mind where they're going to shoot, whether the goalie's standing there or not. And when things were going real good, I probably wouldn't make my mind up till I was about halfway through my follow through, halfway through my shot. Now, I'm going to shoot there, or I'm going to shoot there, because at that point, I see the open spot, you hit it. They're all good goaltenders, but I remember when I was a little bit younger, but Joe Coleman was always a tough goalie to score on. He was a big, huge guy, played for New West, but I was just a kid playing against him. Didn't get a pocket full of goals against him, but and Dave Evans was another good goalie, solid goalie, a little bit older too. Most of the goalies my age, they were all, they're all sharp goalies, and I wouldn't blame goalies if you're scoring a bunch of goals. It's generally a little bit to do with the defense as well, right? I mean, I think if a guy's in on a goalie by himself or close to himself, he should score, and that's his job. Well, I played a lot with Bob Cool, a lot with him. Played a little bit with Jim Lynch. He was another good line mate. Dave Loudon, he was like the anchor of the defense on our line back then. Those guys, and guys like that, Norm Baker, guys like that as well. And a lot of them really you played with right from Pee Wee or Bantam right on up. Odd time, a little bit, guys that's a little bit older, they'll be a year apart. But you get to know everybody, right? You know what the guy's going to do, because in Victoria, we're pretty close. It's a smaller city. We're always, whatever we do on or off the floor. And when you know what a guy's going to do off the floor, you pretty well know what he's going to do on the floor. So it all kind of worked together. My nickname was Spanky, and that was given to me by John Grant, actually, on a field lacrosse trip when we had a field team back in like early 80s. And it was in reference to one of the characters on Spanky in our gang. He gave me that name, but the name was wrong. It stuck forever. The name was wrong because the dark guy in the trio, his name was actually Buckwheat, but he gave me the wrong name and it stuck. Yeah, John Grant's one of the best. He's one of the funniest guys that I ever met, and he was one of my lineys actually in field lacrosse. Really fun guy, good lacrosse player. We were playing the game for fun, and there was never going to be a pot at the end of the rainbow. It was, nobody was getting rich at it, and there's a bit of money there now, but when we played, we didn't play with that in mind. Hey, we're not going to get rich when we're done this, so you're out there having fun, and that's kind of what you did. And every once in a while you say, hey, this team's not too bad. Maybe you should get a little bit serious here, and we would, and you'd have some success. But it was just a good bunch of guys, and you go out there and have some fun. Well, at that time, and still, I guess it's that's the biggest trophy you can win in lacrosse, the highest level you can attain. So you kind of, I guess, if you play lacrosse, that's a goal. So it's a goal that we made, and made it with a bunch of good guys, once again. And it was good because we had probably, I'm going to think, 4 or 5 guys that had played for a long time hadn't won one, right? So it was nice to win it for them, guys like Range and that. And they'd been battling a lot longer than we had, so that was a good part of that. That was fun, and an extremely talented team. I think back at that time in the MILL, it was called, before the NLL, they had a league rule that they could only have like 3 or 4 Canadians or something on the team. But Johnny Meridian, being the guy, he knows how to, when he looks at the rule book, what the rules are. And we had a bunch of the native boys playing, native guys, Darius and Rich and a bunch of guys from back there, they counted as dual citizens. So that really made our team a strong team. And we had like some probably on that team, I'm going to take a wild guess, but today, as I sit here, there's probably 10 or 11 Hall of Famers that were on that team. Like Troy Cordingley, Jim Veltman, John Tavares, Darius Kilgore, Rich Kilgore, and goes on and on, Randy Mearns, a lot of great lacrosse players. So we played the first half season. It was only short seasons. They were like 10-game seasons or something like that. The first half season, we lost the first 3 games because they played a little bit different style of American guys and that. But once we figured it out, about halfway through the first year, we never lost another game for a year and a half. So a real strong team. That was an exceptionally good field lacrosse team. Chris Hall assembled it in like 1980. And we were very well organized. And in Victoria, everybody bought into the field program. So we had Shamrocks playing. Probably we had, I'm going to guess, 6 or 7 Shamrocks, another 6 or 7 junior A lacrosse players, guys like John Crowther and Jim Lightbody and those kind of guys. So we had some highly, highly skilled lacrosse players, and we all bought into this field program that Chris Hall and Jim Hartshorn came up with. And we started in 1980. I don't think we lost a game for about 3 or 4 years. And it also helped. In the end, that's the program that put a lot of our guys on a Canadian field lacrosse team. And it's now, it's still, you look back, that's why guys in Victoria are getting through on scholarships and all that kind of stuff, is directly from that. That's a question I get asked all the time. And really, whichever I'm playing, I like them both. And I really didn't have a favorite. I think whichever one I was playing at the time was fun with me. I don't know. Not really. There's not a whole lot that I changed. I was a little bit disappointed when we were in Junior B. I think it was like 1970, 2 or 3 or something. We won the provincial title, and the Saanich organization wouldn't send us back to play for the Canadians, and that still doesn't sit well with me because we had a good team, and it would have been nice to have the whole set.